we always want something when it's already developed and already packaged, but that's when you're paying a premium.
Right.
When you get into it in its early development stages, or you're a part of that development, that sweat equity you put in and that patience you put in is where you really build wealth. And for us, we want to build wealth for our fund and build wealth for our families. And so we thought that the Southside was prime pickings.
Welcome to the Southside Show, your local news and information source for Atlanta's South Side.
Welcome to the Southside Show. I'm your host, R.D. Jones III. The Southside Show will introduce you to the talented individuals, visionary leaders, innovative entrepreneurs, and game changers that make us Southside strong. Today's guest is Jay Morrison, co-founder of the Legacy Center and founder of the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. How you doing, Jay?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Great, great. Well, thank you for taking time out to visit with us on the Southside Show. First and foremost, I want to kind of, introduce you to the Southside Show guests. Tell us a little bit about your background first. Are you from the Atlanta metro area?
I'm not. I'm from New Jersey.
Jersey. I can hear it in your voice.
Yes. But check this out. I'm from Somerville, New Jersey, and I was raised on Southside Avenue.
Wow.
In Somerville, New Jersey, on the south side of town.
Man.
And played at Southside Park my whole life.
Wow.
And so I find myself here 6 years now in Atlanta metro area and on the south side.
Wow. Full circle.
Full circle. God knew what he was doing.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So you grew up on the south side in Somerville, in Jersey, and where did you matriculate? What high school did you graduate from in that area?
Yeah, so I dropped out of high school at 16 years old.
Okay.
And went back to a high-risk or at-risk youth program called the TOPS program.
Okay.
Where I graduated from Somerset County Vocational. 4 months after I graduated, I landed myself on Rikers Island. And
Rikers?
Yeah.
Which is big prison.
Big prison, yeah. County Jail of New York, C-74. Went upstate to a boot camp. And next thing I know, by the time I was 21 years old, had 3 felonies in 3 different states and had served 2.5 years in prison.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was part of my matriculation was trying early entrepreneurship, wrong product.
Yeah, I guess you grew up really quick during that time.
I did. And, that was my environment on my south side.
Right.
I was a product of my environment. My mom sold drugs, my step-pop sold drugs, my dad, my grandpops, and that was what I seen growing up, and it was either playing sports, rap, or you're gonna make it off this corner. But then while I was on parole at 22 years old in Plainfield, New Jersey, I got introduced to mortgages from a mentor. And that mentor introduced me to a game that changed my life. And I saw I could make $6,000 my first 30 or 40 days pushing papers, refinancing loans. And then about 25 years old, got serious about it and ended up getting my real estate license in New Jersey and buy my first property and first duplex and then first flip. And by 27, became a millionaire.
Wow.
It's a Southside hustle.
Yeah, exactly. From 21, I guess were you incarcerated at that time?
Yeah, I turned 21 years old in Eastern Correctional Institution in Salisbury, Maryland.
And then 5 years later, 26, millionaire.
By 27, yeah.
27 years old. Wow. So a lot happened in between, 21 and 26. What was the major turning point other than you being introduced to, mortgage? Tell me about, did you have a mentor during that time? Yeah,
so we had this parole mandated program called ISP, Intense Supervision Parole. And we had to go Saturday mornings, and all of the felons, we all got in a circle, round robin, and we would build, and a pastor, Antoine Thomas, would kind of mentor us and kind of mediate. He's probably like 37, 39 years old.
Okay.
And I hated it, but one day I was gonna go back to prison. I had decided that I hated parole so much because we had a 6 o'clock curfew and a journal, and they pop up with random breathalyzer tests and urine tests. I was like, man, I'd just rather go back to jail and finish my time and come home with no papers. And the pastor, my mentor, said, bright idea, Jay. But before you decide to turn yourself back in for jail, take this car to go see my wife, works at this company. And so I put him on best Sunday khakis and a button up and walked into the mortgage office, and they gave me a shot. So that mentorship planted that seed. I graduated the ISP program, went back to the streets for 3 more years, had a close call with the feds. One of my transporters got caught with 700 grams of coke and 5 pounds of weed. And then I decided at that time I should switch my hustle and start selling heroin. So
I was thinking you said, okay, I'm gonna switch my hustle. I'm not gonna do it again.
no, man, I was a knucklehead.
You just changed businesses. Your business model changed.
Yeah, I figured instead of transporting coke to Baltimore, I'm gonna sell dope in Newark, New Jersey.
Okay.
And so one day I was in the corner in Newark, New Jersey, South 10th in Springfield.
South again. Right?
South 10th in Springfield. I was standing at the corner, 6:30 in the morning, 25 years old, turned 25, and I really asked myself where I'm gonna be when I'm 30. And God gave me a vision of myself on the ground, on black cement, head by a curb, and my head was bleeding. And then I had another vision. I had a tan suit on behind green bars with chip paint, and I was holding the bars. And so I tried to shake it off and reimagine, like, fancy cars and a few women and some gold chains or something, and successful life by 30 as a drug dealer, and I couldn't even imagine my own success anymore. And at that point, I cold turkey quit. I literally had products still left. I gave it away. I was just heavy on my spirit, and I challenged myself too. It was like self-accountability. So I said, all right, you've been hustling since you were 15 years old. Started selling drugs at 15. And you're now 25. And I had some ups and downs. Might have had a couple cars here and there, a couple watches, but you served 2.5 years in prison. You're a 3-time felon. You get caught again. You're probably going away for football numbers. And are you a hustler or are you a drug dealer? Because a hustler can hustle anything. A drug dealer only can sell drugs. And so that really motivated me to prove that I can be successful in another space.
Right.
And the seed for real estate was already planted. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna go back to the mortgage company. I'm gonna try at least to give that the same energy I gave these streets, which was 24-hour shifts, 7 days a week, nonstop grind, high risk tolerance, operational setups. Right? I had scanners in my jacket, all this ingenuity and innovation. Try giving it into a legitimate industry. And I did, and I didn't have immediate success in real estate. I actually, took me 9 months. I went broke. I lost all my money, was borrowing money, was driving a 93 Mercury Grand Marquis with no driver's side door handle, parking it around the corner, meeting clients.
Right.
But the month I was gonna quit, because I was getting tired, because I was a grown man now. I was used to having money, but now I'm borrowing money from my mom. And the month I was gonna quit, I made $13,000 off some mortgage loans. And then the next month I made $33,000. And then 4 months later, I made $93,000 off a foreclosure.
You told me about, you becoming a millionaire at 27, and we talked about this, probably about a month ago in your office or a couple weeks, is that you went back to some of the same neighborhoods, and you even started a program where you were having, probably hundreds of young men that looked like us, and you were actually showing them the ropes and getting them. Talk to me a little bit about that. I love that story. Yeah, so
as I evolved, 27, 28, 29, made a lot of money, I did like 1 or 2 engagements in some churches, telling my kind of testimony and transformation story. Got acknowledged by BET on a show called Transformations in Vibe magazine, early success. I'm now 42 for reference. But then I got selfish and arrogant, and I was just feeling myself. I mean, I made it out the streets. I got it out the mud, and I was doing well. And then God humbled me deeply, and also showed me that all my success and the grace He had on me wasn't for me. It was for a larger purpose.
Right.
And so I went broke and bankrupt by 30, and went through a dark, deep depression. Was divorced at that time as well. I got married, divorced in the same year, and just a lot of life experiences. Living in foreclosure, hustling, grinding it out. And I actually have this coming out in a new book that I'm releasing in the next quarter. But long story short, in 2012, God said, give me a call and said, take care of my people and I'll take care of you. And so when I got back into business and building my brand and back into real estate, it was really about the people. It was really about serving God's people. And that's where my blessings came from. And so I got really intentional. I started a high school program called Hip Hop to Homeowners, where we would teach financial literacy in high schools, or doing large assemblies, bringing a DJ in and making it.
Now, was this in Atlanta? Or
this is in Jersey still.
Jersey, okay.
Yep, this is 2013, 2012. By 2014, I started my online school, the J. Morrison Academy, where we teach wealth education, making it more affordable, relatable, accessible. And then I had a vision for corner classes, teaching on inner city street corners, like the ones I left. Okay. And so I would bring a flip chart out on the corners all around the country, and I would teach. So my first class was in Baltimore after Freddie Gray, and we had about 60 in attendance outside in February in the cold. I had a knitted hat on, fingers cut out in gloves. I'm teaching on a whiteboard to 70 in attendance outside on Harlem and Dolphin Ave in East Baltimore.
Now, were they engaged?
Everybody's locked in. So this is a vision out my head. I'm like, yo, people are really sitting here for this?
Yeah, imagine if you had a roof over your head and,
Right. An hour outside, right? So my second one was in Bankhead.
Okay.
My second one was in Bankhead, and 90 people came out to the class. CBS News covered it. People flew in from Washington State, all over the country to come to this outdoor corner class. And that's when I realized that my movement was meant for Atlanta. Because when I saw the image God gave me to take care of my people, they were black people. It's not saying that all people are not God's people, because they are. But the people he assigned me to help repair were those least amongst us. And if we look at statistically in our country, our people, Africans in America, are the least amongst us. And so I moved to Atlanta a month later. A month later, I left my condo in New Jersey. I'd found a short-term rental in 12 Atlantic Station. And that's when I came and got a small box office in Midtown, probably no bigger than this set, and started my grind into Atlanta. And fast forward a few years, when we opened the Legacy Center, I interacted with the Water Boys in Atlanta. And I told the Water Boys, outside of me giving you this $10 for one bottle of water, because that's really the hustle, is a donation. So I said, I'm gonna give it to you. I said, but I want to give you a bigger opportunity. I want you to come into my office, and I want to teach you guys about entrepreneurship and give you a private kind of coaching session. And so they came. So the Water Boys came to my conference room at the Legacy Center, came to our executive conference room and sat, and we built for a few hours. And after that, God put it on my heart to create a program like the one that changed my life. And I mimicked this the same. It's a Saturday morning program from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We hold it here in the South Side in East Point at the Legacy Center. Actually, February 18th, we're going to be doing an 8-week straight. Usually we do every other Saturday. Right. Every first and third Saturday. We've been doing it for 2 years now. We're partnered with My Brother Keeper, Fulton County, and the Obama Foundation. It's been successful. Over 200 men that we've taught and impacted on entrepreneurship, on mental health, record expungement, welding, vocational careers, and all that. But this February 18th to April 8th, we're going to be doing an 8-week straight run every Saturday for 8 weeks, taking an inaugural class and really making it a Rites of Passage program. So it's a life transformation and Rites of Passage program where we're going to sign up the first young men on the 18th, and we're going to document their journey during this 8 weeks of going through everything from professional etiquette and dress code to their conduct, to self-sustainability, how to change a tire, how to tie a tie, and these different exercises. And we're gonna literally document it, and we're gonna see who showed up and how they turned out after this 8-week experience. And then we'll have some kind of graduation ceremony here on the South Side, the Legacy Center. So that's one of the great things we're doing. But that work was inspired by somebody pouring into me when I was a high-risk youth, and obviously the results were fruitful.
Well, that's fantastic, and I really want to, like I said, play a part. If there's anything that I can do or the Southside Show can do to support you in that event, we would love to be able to participate. It's amazing, what you can do, where you've come from, what you have been able to do, because you made, I guess, God's purpose your purpose also.
Yes.
Tell our Southside Show guests about the Legacy Center. You've referred to it several times, but nobody really understands exactly what it is. Of course, you gave me the tour, the grand tour. Fantastic facility. But tell us a little bit about the Legacy Center and all the different services that you offer there.
Sure. Before I forget, if anyone does want to participate or bring their young men out for our Rites of Passage program, they can register at legacycenter.com /events, and or just show up on the 18th with your son or child.
And what age group is it?
Yes, ages 12 to 24.
Okay.
Yep, young men 12 to 24. They must enroll by the 18th for this particular Rites of Passage program. The winner or winners of the program will share in a $25,000 grant for starting their own business, or for clothes and attire, or for any of their goals. We're looking forward to those youth that will be locked in and engaged the most. Okay. But everyone can participate, or moms, dads, aunties, uncles, guardians, drop them off. We serve lunch. So 3 hours, you get a break on your Saturday, 11 to 2. Okay. And we also get to pour in and serve them. So definitely want to use the Southside platform to allow the family of Southside to bring their sons or young men out who fit this program.
Okay. Great.
Now, Legacy Center, yes.
Yeah.
It is, so we say Class A facility. We are talking about all the trim, all the bells and whistles. We took the Carter Brothers building, which was owned by Chris and John Carter, formerly of the Minnesota Vikings, Pro Bowler. They had a building, I think an electricity company, and we did an adaptive reuse of that building into what was supposed to be a grand co-working facility. We launched January 8th of 2020, and we all remember by February, March of 2020, it was quarantine, it was shut down, it was a global pandemic. And so we had an amazing grand opening with 3,000 in attendance, great business plan. But when we were faced with the global pandemic, we had to figure out how to shift this business plan of opening a 30,000 square foot facility in a 2.6 acre campus. And what do you do with it now? People can't meet.
Right.
And so we made some of those adjustments, to be responsible for our partners in our fund. We have 15,000 partners, families that are partners in our Tulsa Real Estate Fund, the largest Black-owned crowdfund in the country. And so now we stand as a media production space. We've had Delta, Air France, and other major corporations rent us out for conferences, other technology companies for conferences, and entrepreneurs for fashion shows, youth events. We seat about between our A gallery, which is about 13,000 square feet, and our B gallery, 7,000 square feet. We seat about 2,000 individuals, maybe 1,700, 2,000 individuals, depending on your seating. We also have a brand new podcast lounge with 3 different podcast sets that you can lease out to do your shows, etc. And we have a major psych wall for photo shoots, music videos, a big white wall that you can, create your own kind of environment on, and photography wall as well. So it's great for content creators and media and film companies, but also just a great venue. We have several weddings that have been or scheduled there. As well as smaller receptions, jazz musicals, and all that. So it's a space that that offers all the high-speed Wi-Fi, all the decor, all the trimmings, cafe, those kind of things that we need, but really for us to use as a community for our events, our private events or corporate events. But as well, we have 16 offices. So we lease out to several small businesses and Black-owned businesses. Another amazing thing is that through our development of the Legacy Center, we've created over 200 jobs and have been able to, from our realtor, architects, engineers, our cleaning company, everyone that we've had, all been Black-owned vending machine holders and all that, and just supporting the people that, are dominant in the community. And then we also offer resources, right? So it's all that as an event venue, event space. I have to say all that. But we were planted there in East Point to serve that community and to offer resources to the community. So we go over everything from credit classes to business funding, real estate classes, and programming. We offer virtual offices as well. If you're out of state and just need a virtual address here in the Atlanta metro area. So we have a host of a menu of services outside of our events venue and media production opportunities.
Yeah. So you guys I know that's a tremendous investment.
Yes, sir.
A tremendous investment.
Millions, yes.
And so why did you choose the Southside for this particular?
Well, location was great, right? So Southside is uniquely positioned. Legacy Center is 7 minutes away from the world's busiest airport. Right? 2 MARTA stops from downtown Atlanta. Walking distance to the MARTA. Right from downtown College Park, that was so beautifully developed with all this eatery and access to the goods. I'm a foodie. So that was part of it. It was a great facility and campus, right? So we got great real estate there. We have an outdoor campus with a community garden. We have 10 peach trees we just planted, and some blueberry and blackberry rows and all that. And we knew that Southside was primed for appreciation as well, right? A lot of times as a community or just novice real estate investors, we invest where it's hot and where's the hype. And you're literally the customer at that point. When you're investing or buying in a buyer's market or where the hype is, you're literally cashing somebody else out that invested more wise than you years prior. And so we have to have the discipline to have patient money, have some fortitude and insight and vision to start investing and buying in areas before they're fully appreciated, so our families can realize that appreciation and that wealth. But a lot of times, we always want the blessings in the pretty box with the ribbon already tied and the bow on top. And I learned while I was in prison, my cellmate, when I was 20 years old, my cellmate was a double lifer. He had two life sentences. And he was 53 years old. He had committed 2 homicides. He was 21 years old. And so I was with him 18 hours a day in a cell. And he gave me so much wisdom and game. But he would say a lot of times our blessings don't come in that pretty box with the red ribbon and bow. Sometimes it's the beat up cardboard box with some pea stains on it that might have your biggest blessings.
Right.
And so I take that, and that's why I don't overlook areas. I don't overlook people. I don't prejudge you based on how you look or your first appearance. You might be my blessing. And so, but a lot of times I think that as laymen, working class, or undereducated folks, and especially in our community, financially undereducated, we always want something when it's already developed and already packaged, but that's when you're paying a premium.
Right.
When you get into it in its early development stages, or you're a part of that development, that sweat equity you put in and that patience you put in is where you really build wealth. And for us, we want to build wealth for our fund and build wealth for our families. And so we thought that the South Side was prime pickings.
Okay. So what is your next big project? What does Jay want to accomplish within the next year to 3 years?
Awesome. That's a great question. We're going to be scaling our real estate fund. So when we launched our real estate fund, our raised goal was $50 million. We raised about 23% of that at $11.5 million with 15,000 families. So we're going to be going back for another B round and C round of capital raising to accomplish our goals of building Black Wall Street models throughout the country and buying back the block and development. So we have slated some affordable housing developments in South Georgia. Here in the South Side, we are looking to develop some kind of mixed use and agri-friendly community development here. So we're working on that diligently. We have about 32 acres of site control here that we're working on. And so we're looking to develop more real estate that also, our team was excited yesterday. We had a meeting, and there's this concept of multi-generational developments. And I think it's really important, especially within a community like South Fulton, and we talk about, from population perspective, a majority Black city. And there's an issue in our community of generational divide, right? We don't talk about that gap that much, but there's literally like a gang, like Crips and Bloods. It's like elders and young. It's like, it's almost like two different gangs that oppose each other when actually we actually complement each other and we're built for each other.
Right.
When we bridge this generational divide, and I hope to do that with some of our future developments, where they're multi-generational developments, where we can benefit and soak up the wisdom and game from our elders and their advice and their counsel and all their experiences, so we don't got to make all those mistakes and can learn from that. But they also can reciprocate by leaning on some of our innovation and some of our energy and what we see in our current age. It's kind of like, to be more practical about it, is like, we have grandmas, aunties, and uncles and grandpas in our community that can hold us down and help us, but they also have young hands and muscle that can help cut the grass or pick the trees or show them how to work these cell phones. Right. But we don't collaborate enough. We kind of I think there's been this Willie Lynch-like line that's been drawn, and that I think we've all fed into, of where it's them young folks over there and it's them old heads or old folks over there, when literally God made us in an ecosystem as a village to support each other. So I look forward to doing more developments that are multi-generational, that could bridge the generation divide in our community and allow us to grow and really show a model, an example of what a comprehensive village and ecosystem and a self-sustaining one looks like when we're all working together at all age levels, income levels. Like this class thing we have, it's age classism, it's economic classism, it's still that. And so I hope with some of our developments we can break some of those cycles. And then we want to grow for us, by us. Right? Our legacy center was developed for us, by us. We've done 32 transactions, invested $9.4 million to a dozen Black developments and developers throughout the country. And it's just about doing for self, right? We don't have enough institutions. We point the finger at our economic oppression, economic exploitation, and political oppression, and police brutality, and all these things. But it's like, what are we doing? Now, I don't defer or deflect someone else's accountability, but I also understand there's dual accountability.
Right.
If your life is, and I know from my own personal life experiences, right? I grew up hard. It wasn't fair, really, how I grew up and what I was born into, but I still had to take accountability for how my life turned out.
Right.
And as a community, it's not fair what we inherited. It's not. But we still have to take accountability for how we turn out. So that's why, our fund, that's why our mentorship program, and the things we do, like we can't just wag our finger and say, oh, those young black boys are breaking into cars and sagging their pants and they're doing this and doing that and listening to rap music and doing that. But what are we doing to help save them or redeem them or to plant seeds or to pour into them, right? And so I'm just a solutionist. And so I look forward to more solutions, more collaborations with like-minded and like-spirited individuals, and allowing my light to shine on the South Side and plant some seeds here, and letting God's purpose show and grow through whatever I can contribute towards our side.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Is there any last words that you'd like to leave our Southside Show guests with?
Yeah, it is. So, okay. Southside guests, we have everything that we need. We have all the resources we need. We have all the land we need. We have all the dollars we need. We have all the ingenuity and smarts, and we have everything we need to do for ourselves. As I've been here on the South Side more, I've noticed things as I've, went to different restaurants or grocery stores, that we have to force raising the standard within our community, from corporations, from those we engage with, and do it in tough love. Make sure the love is present, not just the toughness, kinds of ways. My wife's a big advocate for, I don't know if you say brands here or not, but big for these grocery stores to start giving us bags with handles on them in the South Side. So our elders and our moms aren't having to force whole bags where you go to another community in Midtown, Sandy Springs, or Alpharetta, and everybody got bags with handles on them for convenience. But for some reason, these grocery stores can't afford it here in the South Side for us to have those small conveniences. We go into our restaurants and the hostess stands. We're not greeted like we're greeted sometimes in other places, or customer service. And these are the things that, we deserve that same level of excellence, and we have it within us. We just gotta raise our standard. We also gotta be patient with one another and understand that anything great takes time, and it takes work. That's the part we keep living out. We all have this great expectation, and we all want great, and we want to hold everybody to great standards.
Instantly.
Ain't nothing great came out the microwave. Not one great meal came out the microwave. Every great cake, every great pastry, every great dinner, full course meal, it took preparation. It took some broiling. It took some baking, some crock pot. It took some time, right? If you want to get something great. So I think we got to add that to it. Our people have a very, very high standard of expectation, and we want to hold ourselves to expectation and standard. But then we don't want to put in the sweat equity of time, of cultivation, of education, of research, of study, of mistakes and learnings. Other communities, they had time to make mistakes and learn.
Right.
To then be great. So if we want this greatness on our South Sides, we have to still hold people to a standard. Iron sharpens iron. But we have to also have some level of patience and grace for those who are genuinely working towards providing us greatness. And that's from our politicians to our workers to our entrepreneurs on down. Let's have that level of vision and support people and edify them and empower them so we can get the greatness we seek. But if we beat everybody up who's trying to do good work and tear them all down, everybody's gonna say, the hell with the South Side, I'm going somewhere else. So let's have some grace for those on our side that's working for our side, and support those who are working for us.
Okay. Well, could you please provide our Southside Show guests with contact information for being able to get in touch with you and find out more about the Legacy Center and some of those projects that you're involved in?
Absolutely, thank you. Southside family, if you all want to check out our Legacy Center for your birthday parties, graduation parties, we're actually going to be hosting Langston Hughes' football team, our state championship football team. The Legacy Center will be hosting them for their banquet. Wow. So we're happy to do that. But yeah, any of your events, go to legacycenter.com. You also can see the tab for our programs and upcoming events, as well as Big Brother Anonymous, which is our mentorship program I mentioned. That's legacycenter.com/events. You can find me on all social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, at Mr. J Morrison, that's MRJAY Morrison, MrJMorrison.com as well for my website. And if anyone wants to learn what I've learned in real estate, in business, in credit, to help build wealth for my family, you guys can go to jmorrisonacademy.com for our trainings and all that. And so look forward to connecting with you all and seeing you one day at the Legacy Center on the South Side.
All right. Well, thank you, Jay. I appreciate all that you're doing, and thanks for coming to the South Side.
Thank you. Thank you for having
area. I look forward to working with you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right.
Hey. And that's a wrap, folks. My time is up. I'm Artie Jones, your host of the Southside Show, bringing you the latest and the greatest that the Southside has to offer. And if you don't remember anything else from this episode, please remember this. Don't sleep on the Southside. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.